So in example 3, this is really just a continuation of example 2. Notice we already had the base, we already had 150 centimeters, which was the base of the triangle, and we used the tangent function in order to find the height of the triangle, right, which is our 126. So again, this is from example 2. And example 3 is just saying, now let's find what C is. Now, which is obviously the hypotenuse. Now the C, you can find it using the Pythagorean theorem, right? That's perfectly fine. However, if you did make a mistake, maybe in the calculation of if of this height, let's say, this was wrong, or let's just say you got 86, for example, which is not right. If you use 86, which is the wrong solution, and you plug it into A and use B, then of course you're going to get the wrong C because you're carrying off your error. So another way to, just verify that this C is correct is by using the trigonometric functions. So we can say, right, what do we have? Our goal is to find C, so it's going to be one of the trig functions. And remember, our angle here, right, is 40 degrees. So I know it's going to be something of 40 degrees equals a fraction. So they used a cosine, right? So they used cosine here, and cosine by definition is adjacent over the hypotenuse. So the adjacent is this side, right? So it's 150 over the hypotenuse, which we want to find is C. Now, if you wanted to use, let's see, if you wanted to use a sine of 40 degrees, that would be okay as well, because the sine of 40 is the opposite, which is 126, right, over the C. So you would still find a C, but I'm assuming they used 150 just because 126 we approximated the answer. So then this is again just solving for C, right? The cosine of 40 is it's an actual number, okay? So make sure that goes together. Don't just write cosine. If you write cosine of nothing, I mean, it doesn't mean anything. You have to write an angle in here, right, which is usually represented in degrees in this book. So if we cross multiply, right, we have cosine of 40 times C. So cosine of 40 degrees times C equals 1 times 50. Sorry, that was my timer going off. 1 times 50 equals 150. And again, we want to solve for C. So again, this is the cosine of 40 degrees is an actual number, right? It's the adjacent over, it's a length over a length. But to solve for C, right, we can divide both sides by cosine of 40. And again, this is a big 1. C equals 150 divided by cosine of 40 degrees. If you have a graphing calculator, you can punch this in one shot. Again, make sure that the mode is in degrees, right? Not radians. It might say radian mode. And then you just punch that in. 150 divided by cosine of 40 degrees, or if you want to do it step by step, and you approximate it to the nearest whole number, you get 196. So that's what our hypotenuse is.